Hello and good morning from Toronto, Canada. This is Amir Ismail. Thanks for joining us once again today. Those who are joining us for the first time, a very warm welcome. And those who are our regular viewers, thanks once again. This is Amir Ismail. I'm a Toronto based licensed Canadian immigration advisor who has been assisting clients in their immigration and citizenship matters since 1991. Today, we will be discussing few updates on immigration front and a very good news as well. Today, we will be joined with our Asia Regional Director, Khwaja Noman, as well, who will be joining us shortly. And we will have lots of questions answered today, as usual. So, first of all, the good news. And the good news is that Canada has approved the COVID-19 vaccine. In fact, Canada is the third country approving the vaccine. The first one was Bahrain, and then we had UK, and then Canada. So basically, we superseded the US in approving the vaccine. So we can expect that the vaccine is going to be rolled out as early as next week from Monday, and it is expected that it will be available to the general public from spring, sometimes in March. So it is basically, I would say, it is tied to the immigration program because it's a good news for all the newcomers. So we understand that the Minister of Immigration had announced last month that they are increasing the level plan by way of which they will be welcoming more immigrants in 2020 throughout 2023. And in 2021 alone, they are going to welcome 401,000 new immigrants. And with the good news that vaccine will be on its way in Canada very soon, we hope that the newcomers who would be coming to Canada in 2021, those who are waiting, in fact, with the approvals, and those who would be applying now, and they'll be approved hopefully by the end of the year, and they all will be easily landing in Canada. So the good news is on horizon, and I believe we all should be happy about it. Yes, it's true that it's still not time for us to celebrate because we still have to keep our distance, take precautions. And in Canada as well, the region where I'm based, the GTA, the Greater Toronto Area, we are still in red category. That means we are still not allowed to mingle with other people and stay indoors as much as possible. And if you are in any other country, I would request that you do the same. We have gone a long way. We have come a long way, and it's just few more months, I would say, before we could all be safe. So it's a pleasure to have you all today. I'm going to bring in our Asia Region Director, Khwaja Noman, as well to join us. And we will be discussing, first of all, a few of the updates very quickly. And then we will start taking your questions, and we will keep the question and answer period a bit longer. So we'll wrap up the updates very, very quickly, and then we'll try to answer your questions. So let me welcome Khwaja Noman to this stream. Hi, Noman Saab, how are you doing? I don't know if he can still hear me. Okay, let me try once again. Maybe we could ask the technician to look for the updates, the sound system. Okay, so let me look at the updates for you guys first, and then we'll add Khwaja Noman once again to the stream. Now, we have the update from Saskatchewan Provincial Nominee Program, where they invited yet again for 564 new immigrants, those who are interested in migrating to Canada, under their Express Entry and Occupation in Demand category. And it's a good news that the provinces are going ahead and inviting people. They haven't stopped. Let me just recheck with Khwaja Noman if his sound system is working now. Khwaja Saab, can you hear us? Okay, I think we still are facing a little bit of technical difficulties. Let's see if we could look at uh, people who are joining us today. We have Jalil Ahmed Memon joining us. He's an advocate since 2008. Welcome to this stream. Shoaib Memon, Maria Akhtar, Tanveer Raza. So welcome, guys, and let's move on to the updates. The express entry draw, the last express entry draw that happened on December the 9th, it also invited 5,000 people. So we saw that there were two express entry draws happening before that, and each one of those invited 5,000 new candidates. And this draw also invited another 5,000. So these are three draws in a row inviting 5,000 people. And the usual intake or usual draw is for 3,000 to 4,000 people, or a little more than that. But these three draws are a clear indication that Canada is preparing to invite more people every time they conduct a draw, and it's in preparation to be able to welcome more immigrants, because as we know, the quota has been increased for 2021. So we can expect larger draws, and larger draws would mean more applicants and more people getting a chance for selection. And the score, however, the ranking score has been hovering around 460 to 470. But that also includes people who get provincial nomination. And you know that in provincial nomination, we get 600 extra points. So all those people who find it difficult to reach to the going pass rank of 460 to 470, they can expect or they can target provincial nomination program and get more points. So that these were the two updates we had, but we have few more, which includes the provincial the provincial nomination draws. We see that British Columbia also selected 256 people for an application for provincial nomination. And British Columbia, by the way, has invited close to 9,000 immigration candidates to apply for provincial nomination this year. So you can see that each one of these provinces have selected around 8 to 9,000 people. And that means that if you are talking about somewhere around 7, 8 provinces taking part, a large portion of selections are coming from these provinces, and they are playing their part in getting these immigrants into their respective provinces. And as we discussed earlier as well, you get 600 extra points, which are very valuable points. Okay, so let's see. I'll try one more time. If Khwaja, we can hear Khwaja. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, your voice is breaking, Khwaja. I think there's an internet issue at your end. I don't know. I think, yeah, we'll reconnect with you once again. But in the meantime, I would start taking questions, and I would see if we could accommodate as many people as we could today. Okay. All right. Let's see who are with us today. We have Jalil Ahmed Memon. Welcome to the show today. And he is pursuing a PhD in law. He's an advocate since 2008. Always good to have lawyers in our show. It improves the quality of people joining us. So lawyers, of course, are respected everywhere in the world. And thanks for joining us today. Shoaib Memon, great to see you again. Great to see you again too, Shoaib. Pleasure to have you once again. We'll see if we could add a few questions. Okay, so Jalil Ahmed Memon, the lawyer joining us today, is asking whether law comes within the ambit of skilled worker. Being a lawyer, can I apply? Yes, exactly. Lawyers would fall under one of the skilled worker categories, and if you're meeting the criteria, you might qualify as well to come to Canada as a skilled worker. But you need to bear in mind that you might not be able to practice law in Canada unless you fulfill the law society requirement of that particular province where you want to practice law. I'm sure that you are already aware about it, but there are no restrictions in lawyers applying under the skilled worker category. Some lawyers apply under the business category, even if they are operating their own law firm, and if they have a good business plan that they wish to come to Canada and establish a business in Canada. You can get in touch with our team to see whether you qualify in one of the categories, and we'll be happy to provide you an opinion about your eligibility. We have an assessment form on our website, www.amirismail.com. It's a free assessment form. You can complete it, and we'll have all the data that we require to make an assessment very quickly. Okay, hope that I have answered your question. Anib Rahman is asking, can someone apply for student visa while their profile is already in queue? Yes, there are no restrictions in someone applying for a student visa if they have already created their express entry profile. The only thing that you need to bear in mind perhaps would be to convince the visa officer assessing your student visa application as to um, why, how this course of study that you've chosen is going to help you in improving your prospects of a job in Canada, in your home country, and the fact that you've already applied for sort of immigration, you have created your own express entry profile. How are you a not immigrant? Because student visa is a non-immigrant visa, and one has to convince the officer that they don't have any intentions of staying in Canada permanently. But maybe a dual intent proposition could work. When we put forward applications of these nature, we argue that the applicant has a short-term plan of going to Canada on temporary basis, and their long-term plan is indeed to migrate to Canada. If that argument is accepted, then perhaps there are no issues. But in terms of applying, as long as the applying is concerned, there are no restrictions. So I hope that has answered the question. Okay, so we have a few more questions coming in very quickly. I will try to answer each one of those one by one. But before I proceed, I would try one more time. Today's webinar is actually a part dedicated to the internet inefficiency. But we'll try once again with Kajan Oman. If we could hear him, if we could see him, it's always a pleasure to have him all the way from Karachi. I think we can hear him and see him.
Yeah.
Okay,
Can
wonderful.
you?
Okay,
Hello,
so
Amir Saab. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm good. How about yourself?
Perfect, perfect. I'm so
Okay,
sorry for this
no,
interruption because of this inefficiency of the internet here.
no worries.
But
No worries.
as far as we are listening together, yeah.
No worries. The thing is, your presence is always appreciated, and you always take time out to make yourself available for answers and assist in conducting these usual session. We regularly arrange these live sessions from Toronto every Saturday at 11 a.m. EST. So do remember to join us every Saturday. And Khwaja Noman he basically heads the operations in Asia, and he takes care of the clients in that region. And we work very closely with him in assisting our clients. He's a very dedicated, very experienced immigration professional. Has got very good and vast knowledge of immigration matters, and works very closely with me in terms of providing assistance to our clients. So today we have the pleasure of having a lot of people actually, and the questions are pouring in. What I'm
Yeah.
going to do is I'm going to take on questions one by one, and we would of course need your expertise as well as we proceed further. We have Kamran as well. He is a pharmacist, and welcome, Kamran. Always a pleasure to deal with pharmacists all around the world. Um, they have the advantage of First of all, very good prospects here in Canada, and also the fact that their profiles are usually strong if they're young as well, because their degree is a professional degree. Um, just like a doctor, for example, an MBBS doctor, their degrees is considered professional level degree. I'm talking from the point of view of immigration points that are assigned to a degree. So, for example, a BE degree is a professional degree as well, but when it comes to assigning points, they might not be able to give you points that are equivalent to a professional degree. They would say it's a 4 years bachelor's degree. So, welcome to the show, and I hope you will continue to join us every Saturday. Okay, Fahad is saying, please tell us about spouse sponsorship. Any update? The good news is, Fahad, that the spousal sponsorship application, they have really seen a very good expedition. We have seen a number of our sponsorship applications who were waiting for many months. We have seen them getting concluded, or those whom we had submitted and they were not even acknowledged for the last few months, I would say. But they have now started pouring in. Canadian government announced last month, in fact, a month before the last, that they have increased the number of processing officers who process the spousal sponsorship applications, and they have increased them by 67%. So you can imagine how important it is for Canadian government to process spousal sponsorship applications and conclude them in a timely fashion. So they're going to do that. Fahad is saying, I'm a good fan, big fan. Yeah, I'm a big fan too, Fahad. Thank you for your appreciation. Okay. Emma is saying, can I apply for student visa if I already express entry pool? So I tried to answer the question to the other inquirer. Yes, you can apply for a student visa, but then of course you have to look at various aspects of dealing with your student visa application to make sure that it doesn't get a refusal based on the assumption that you wish to immigrate to Canada, which is true. Of course, you wish to immigrate to Canada, and you have to be very candid with the visa officer that you do indeed have an express entry profile. You have a long-term plan of coming to Canada as an immigrant, but then you have to be able to convince the officer that you don't have any plans to stay in Canada permanently for the time being. For the time being is very important. So you're going to go back and you still have the ties to your home country. You can't immigrate right away. So that is important. So if you would need any assistance in making those kind of representations, we can do so on your behalf. And get in touch with our team. We'll be happy to help you. You can contact us via email, info@amirismail.com. Give us a call. If you are based in Karachi or Lahore, Islamabad, Khwaja Numan is the guy to get in touch with. Otherwise, anywhere else, you can always send us a WhatsApp message at 001-647-835-0660. Farhan Bhutto is saying, if my profession is government officer and also written on passport, am I eligible for Canadian immigration? Well, I don't think that it's a predicament. I mean, there's no hurdle. If your passport is a normal passport, shouldn't be a problem. If you're a government officer, it will depend, however, what kind of government office you're associated with. If your government office mandatorily requires you to spend time in your home country and you can't leave, there's a bond in place, then the Canadian government will still process your application, but they would want to know whether you would be allowed to immigrate or not. Are you allowed to go or not? So those are the kind of things that you might need to take into account or address right at the start of the process. You can get in touch with us. We'll be happy to discuss the matter in greater detail. Okay. Kamran is saying, if pharmacist is eligible for PNP. So I'll ask Khwaja Numan to attend to this question, and I can add further to it.
Yes. Amr Sab, actually, there is a myth going on in the market that you are a pharmacist and you might not be able to apply for PNP. So let me correct you here. There is nothing like that. Even a pharmacist can also apply for provincial nomination program, provided he is eligible to. And obviously, there are certain requirements to make yourself eligible to apply. Obviously, there are a few factors involved, like age, education, of course experience is one of the key factor to which gonna play a role into it. But yes, please do, Kamran, send us your profile, fill our assessment form on our website, and we will be able to assess you for the PNP option and see where you can be applying into this through us for sure.
Okay, yes. So I had the same feeling that pharmacists, and we love them. We have assisted a number of pharmacists in past since 1991, and we'll be happy to assist you as well. While I can't read your name, but thank you for joining, and thank you for the question. What is Express Entry Program? So Express Entry is a file management system which is in place since 2015 January, and it allows the Canadian government to invite applicants to submit their profiles and their expression of interest to immigrate to Canada. They are assigned points. We call them comprehensive ranking system points, and in short, CRS. Points are assigned on your various factors such as age, education, work experience, language skills, and depending on your points, um, applicants are invited to apply for immigration or permanent residence in Canada. And best of the best or highest ranking applicants are selected from the pool. Provinces also play a vital role, and provinces can also nominate provinces in Canada. By the way, we have 10 provinces and 2 territories in Canada, and almost each one of them have their own immigration programs. They select applicants and nominate them for immigration, and the federal government then allows them to come to Canada as a permanent resident. But by these nominations, applicants can benefit, can get extra points, and those points are usually sufficient enough to get an invitation to apply. So I hope that answers your question. Omar Farooq saying, "Good to see you as always, young and energetic." I think Omar, your remarks are for Khwaja Numan, because um, I'm not young, at least. So I understand that, but thank you for your remarks. Let's take some questions from YouTube as well. There are people joining us from YouTube today. So this broadcast is going live on YouTube and Facebook both at the same time simultaneously. Jarar Shah, thank you for joining us from YouTube, Jarar. He says, I would like to communicate to submit my case directly. Is it possible? I just want satisfaction, then apply for PNP. Yes, Jarar. I mean, we are here to assist you. If you retain us as your representative, it would be a pleasure. And you can contact us. We have a local office as well, can be contacted. We have our head office in Toronto, can be contacted directly as well. And rest assured that you will be satisfied before we give you the green signal. Unlike other local agents in your market who would like to perhaps grab a case without knowing the all the aspects, or without setting the expectations of the client. So what AIA does is, and all their staff member everywhere in the world, we set the expectation of the client as the first step. Because if you don't, then at the end of the day, the client is disappointed. We don't want our client to be disappointed. If there are no chances of you getting selected or going through, we simply say no to you, which is a better way of dealing, rather than taking in some money and then keeping you on hold. Unless it was a 50-50 chance and the client seemed to understand that and is ready to take that chance, we tell them very clearly that you might not get selected, but there is a chance. Would you like to go ahead and give it a shot? If the client is not comfortable in doing so, because of course there are no guarantees, they would simply not proceed further. But if they are willing to take the chance, because after all, if you don't take a chance, nothing is going to happen anyways, right? So it's very important that you take that step if it is worth taking. If it is not worth taking, we would simply tell you to save your money, hard-earned money, and save your precious time. So that's how we deal, and that's how we have been dealing for the last several years. Let's see if Omar has a question. Omar is saying, I'm a student uh, in USA and I would like to move to in Canada. Age is on a higher side. Can I have business immigration? What are the requirements? Now, Omar, of course, I don't know about your age. I'm not going to ask that on the public forum either. But it really depends. How high is it? I can see from your picture you're a young guy, but pictures can be deceiving. You could be it really depends how old are you, because when we talk about the provincial program, in most cases these people who apply or target provincial nomination program are those who do not reach to the going pass rank of 460 to 470. And the main reason in most of the cases is either the age factor or the language factor. If they're young, they are unable to score good bands in IELTS, they would, of course, lose points. If they are scoring good in IELTS, and I'm sure you will because you're studying in USA, I'm sure you're fluent in English. But if your age is above 30, you start losing points. And in fact, by the time you're 35, the scores start to diminish. That doesn't mean that your prospect of coming to Canada have vanished. Provincial nomination is the way to go, and we can explore those options. Complete our assessment form. That would be my request, so that we could see where do you stand in terms of qualifications, and if there are no chances, we're going to say no to you. Okay, so we'll be happy to do that. Jarasha is saying, communicate directly with us. Of course, you can communicate directly with us. Not a problem at all. We go through the assessment process. It is a free assessment. Complete our assessment form, and we get back to you with that. Okay, so let's see if we can bring in a few more questions. I don't know. I'm not. Okay, thanks for prompt replies. Jalil is saying, feeling honored. We are honored to have you. And he'll be contacting our office after assessment form, so it will be wonderful. Let's see if we can add a few more questions today. Okay, so I think I'll need Khwaja Naman's expertise here. Aurangzeb Alam is saying 15 years pharmaceutical experience on diverse management level. The keyword is management level. Do I stand a chance? Any skill category that I qualify for immigration? I can provide you my 2 cents that we can, first of all, of course, we can make an assessment to see whether you qualify or not. But if you have senior management experience, you have good chances of being considered under the entrepreneur programs as well, depending on the availability of net worth for you. So while you can complete our assessment form for skilled workers, we can also assess you other possible options and then discuss with you through a consultation with me and Khwaja Naman. Where do you stand in terms of qualification? Any of the options available, we can explore all the options. Let me have the feedback of Khwaja Naman on that as well.
That's right, Amir Saab. You have explained it already. He is. It seems to be a good kind of case. Perhaps could be for provincial as well as for business entrepreneur. And I would really like to see his profile as soon as he filled our assessment form, so we'll able to assess for sure. It seems to be a good case for entrepreneur as well. Rightly you said.
Okay, so Emma is asking, she's doing MBA in Australia. If she wants to continue masters in Canada, will the visa refusal be high in this case? Well, Emma, there is nothing to do with you doing MBA in Australia and then thinking about doing another master's in Canada or a higher credential in Canada. What matters is the Canadian visa officer, because I'm sure you must have gone through the student visa process for Australia as well. It's the same thing, basically. You are convincing the visa officer of any country where you're applying for student visa in that you are a genuine student. You don't have any plans of staying in that country permanently, and why this degree is important for you, what are you going to do with it? I mean, how you are going to utilize it in your career, and what would compel you to leave Canada at the end of the day? What are your magnets, right? That will attract you, that would pull you out of Canada. So if you explain all those things correctly, you should be okay. What we do is we try to explain it in our submission letter. We define all the aspects, all the attributes of the applicants, and why the visa officer should consider them for study permit application. If you have plans to come to Canada as a student, and if you have not already done your research for admissions, you can do so on your own, or you can ask our team to do it for you. We'll be happy to search suitable institutes. We can discuss the intake periods, and then after you have secured your admission in Canada, we can then assist you in applying for study permit application as well. Okay. Sarfraz Khan is asking, other than job bank, what are other sources, especially for those who are already in pool? If you're asking about applying for jobs, there are a lot of resources available online. The big portals, monster.com, even LinkedIn is a very good source of job hunting. But we also understand that it is difficult to get hold of a job, especially during a pandemic when people are being relieved of their duties, and it is still a way to go before the businesses in Canada as well to be on up and running. So you can try, of course. There are several resources available, and perhaps the better way to do is to get in touch with a licensed recruitment company to assist you in your job hunt process. Bear in mind that you are not supposed to pay even a single cent toward a job arrangement. If someone is asking you for that money, turn around and don't come back, because they are basically not only contravening the Canadian law of charging a job seeker money, but also the fact that they are basically the job offer would not be genuine, because no employer would ask you to pay money. Okay. Zia Aliakat Sahutra, greetings from Malta. Thank you for joining again. I have plans to visit Malta sometimes, because we also deal with the citizenship by investment program in Europe, and Malta is one of the countries. Very beautiful, and close to Cyprus as well. So we have plans to take a trip to Malta, and thanks for joining us again. Shafaq Sabdar is asking, 12 years of experience as clinical psychologist and special education teacher. Can she apply? Yes, of course, there are factors involved, such as age, education, work experience, language skills. You've already told us about your 12 years of experience in clinical psychology and special education. You're a special education teacher. But we would like to know your age, your education qualification, and also assess your language skills. The best way to do is to complete our assessment form on our website, www.amirsmile.com. And our team take 2 business days to provide you a comprehensive response, and also suggest you to proceed with a one-on-one consultation if one is required. If you don't qualify, we don't suggest that. So we'll be very honest and upfront in telling you about your prospects. Okay, Aisha Mudassar is saying, what are the prospects of physiotherapists? 34 years of age and RNIP. So I would ask Khwaja Numan to assist me with this answer, but for RNIP or any other program that requires you to have a job offer in Canada, we don't deal in it. Because we can't arrange jobs. Because people, when they contact an agent in the local market especially, their expectation is that they don't meet the requirement of having a job offer, though they expect the consultant or the agent to arrange job for you, and then they charge a humongous amount of money from these people. So we don't arrange jobs. If you happen to find an employer who's willing to offer you the job, we can work with that employer in Canada and get the job offer approved, or apply for a provincial program like this one, which doesn't require the job offer to be approved, but it does require the involvement of the employer. But in terms of other programs other than RNIP, prospects of physiotherapists could be good. Let me invite Khwaja Numan to have few comments on it, and we'll proceed further on it. Okay. Okay, I think we are we we don't have the sound from Kwajanaman. Uh, Let me just add him again. We had
All right,
lost
I'm
the
sorry.
sound.
Oh, Aisha, I was just repeating it again because perhaps the sound was not coming. I was just sharing physiotherapy's prospects seems to be very good in Canada, and we believe you would be a better candidate too. But knowingly your age is 34, being a physiotherapist, we also want to know the other details of yours, like the experience specifically, and further, if you have any relative, could be a plus factor, especially because we'll be exploring your options more priorly, I mean, in provincial options, perhaps because of the age. But still, we need to see still need to see how many years of experience that you hold, and plus if you have a relative, that will be a plus factor for sure. So let's fill out our assessment form as a first step, and we will be able to assist you detail. We're gonna assess you, and then we'll able to guide you further on this part.
Okay, thanks for the answer. There is a question coming from Khurram Latif. Why Pakistani international students applying for Canada have more refusals than any other country? Um, it might be a wrong impression that Pakistani students have more refusals. Genuine Pakistani students, especially after the introduction of the SDS, inclusion of Pakistan in the SDS program, it has increased the approval rate, but the refusal percentage, the ratio, it depends on the number of genuine students applying. Um, it is true for even Nigeria, which is a big source of supply for students to Canada. Vietnam, for example, it's a big source of students to Canada. And the refusal rate is all the way same, I would say. If it is a non-genuine student, or at least the officer thought it is not genuine, they're going to refuse. And we understand that some countries, people from some countries apply for student visa even though they don't provide right kind of documentation, they don't have the access to funds, or they even submit fraudulent documentation. So I'm not pinpointing any country at the moment, but it really depends the number of not fit applications being received, and then of course those applications get refusals. But at the same time, some genuine students also get refused because of lack of documentation, lack of their ability to explain as to why they should be considered as a student. And in the local terms, we say "Geon ke saath gun bhi pis jata hai." So that terms applies when a genuine visitor, genuine student is getting a refusal. In all those cases, we recommend to resubmit the application, seeing what were the shortcomings, where can we improve, and we also access the notes of the visa file when clients approach us with a refusal, and we try to decipher, read, review, and analyze the comments of the officer why they made that decision, because sometimes the decision letter is not very clear. So to get the insight what was going through the mind of the visa officer, they do make some entries in the global case management system file, and we can access that file to see what was the real reason behind it. Zoshia Ali Zedi, doctor, is saying, what is the process of doctors? Zoshia, thank you for joining us today again. And the process of doctors is similar to any other profession. There are no special needs, no special assessments required. When you immigrate to Canada as a doctor, and if you wish to practice as a doctor in Canada, there are provincial level professional bodies you should be member of. For that, of course, international medical graduates have to go through a series of examinations and licensing procedures. If you meet, and whenever you meet those requirements, you are then allowed to practice as a doctor in Canada. So, for the time being, for the immigration purposes, it's all the way same. The only difference perhaps would be your educational credential assessment, where you have to deal with another assessment body other than the usual, the usual applicants. So we get that done, do your IELTS, and then apply, and we'll be happy to assist you with that.
Doctor has an advantage, Amir Sahab. You should also, I mean, I'd like
Yeah,
to add here as well,
sure.
especially to Zoshia, doctors has an advantage in terms of their professional degree because they have a 5-year professional degree, and that will accumulate it to experience equivalent to as a professional degree or a master's degree in Canada. So I obviously encourage you to go ahead, fill out our assessment form so that we able to assess you under this category.
Yeah, Zoshia has actually kindly completed it earlier, and she
Oh,
would be going ahead. But I'm actually impressed that she's always available for to attend our information sessions. She keeps herself updated, and it's just wonderful to have her. Ikra is asking, she is doing bachelor's from Hungary, and it's her last year. Can she apply for immigration, or should I go for master's first? So, Ikra, there are minimum requirements to meet before you could apply for immigration. And if you do have work experience already from your home country, you might qualify for immigration at this point in time. And whilst the application is being processed, you can pursue your master's as well, so as to gain more points. But if you don't have any work experience, if you were a fresh student and who wants to pursue further education, then going ahead with your master's makes sense. If you're not doing any job right now, so we will have to review your details before we could make the assessment. Based on my answer right now, you can decide whether you should proceed to complete our assessment form or not. If you don't have any work experience, there is no point in completing the form and making an assessment. But if you do have at least 1 year, we can determine how strong or weak the case is. And going for a master's, of course, I would always encourage you to do that, so that you can benefit from not only a master's degree itself, but also more points. Okay. Rahila Damani is saying, I have already emailed you the details, but no response from your side. Okay, Rahila, we have to check. I'm going to ask my team to have a look at it. We usually respond within 2 business days, but if it was an email outside of the assessment process, like a direct email, we can look into it. But if you were given an assessment, all the necessary details are usually within that response, including the procedure incidental to arranging a consultation with our office. But if those were some specific matters, I'm definitely going to look into it personally and make sure that you are responded. Okay. Fatma saying, I want to apply for family immigration, but my age is 40. I have 2 kids, working as a teacher for 12 years. Is it possible to go for that? So some information, of course, is missing, such as the educational details. But Khojanuman can have an input in terms of qualification for someone who is 40, which is not old, but from immigration point of view, it seems as if the person has already lost so many significant points.
so Fatma, you will be saved if you have a relative in Canada for sure. In that perspective, but we obviously, being you as a teacher, having 12 years of experience, we need to see the other factors like your education as well to make this final decision. But obviously seems like you're losing lots of points in the age factor, and perhaps if you have some relative in Canada, we might be able to see which province you might be a good candidate for. So let's fill out our assessment form and we can able to see, or we can book a consultation to discuss in detail.
Great. Surya is asking, when will visit visa open? So we don't know exactly. Visitor visa applications can still be submitted, and some applicants can also come to Canada if they fall under the exemption provisions. If you are exempt from, if you're one of the applicants who's exempt from travel restrictions, you can come to Canada. An application can be approved as well. But if you are not under those exemptions, you can still submit, and I would recommend that you submit, because then your application could be on on top of the list whenever the borders are going to open. We understand that borders are still closed. Canada and U.S. border has closure has been extended until 21st of January, and it is expected to be closed until 30th of January for the rest of the world. And we expect it to be that way until, I would say, safely until June this next year, if the vaccine is available and everything is in order. But again, we understand that the first world countries will have their hand on vaccines before any other countries coming from, say, third world country applicants. So the point of the matter is that Canada wants to ensure that there is less inflow of affected people, for example. So they would want to, even if the entire population in Canada has been vaccinated, their focus would be on people coming from outside the world. And if they're coming from a country where they have not been vaccinated, then, so basically, if a vaccine is available, it would be easier then, rather than saying the borders are closed, they would say, present to us a vaccine proof. So even if you're coming from a country where vaccine is not available, but you got it somehow from any other country, or even in your own country, if it is available against a payment or something, because in Canada, of course, it will be free of cost, but perhaps in other countries it would still be free of cost, but there'll be an option of paying and getting vaccinated. So if you'll have that record, perhaps you'd be able to come, and maybe Canadian government would include the requirement of submitting the proof with your application, even for them to see whether they can issue you the visa or not. Okay, and so the attendee, I could not read the name. Her name is Tareem. Tareem, thank you very much for joining us today. Thanks for letting us know. Okay, let's see if we can take. I don't know if we took Aisha's Aisha Mudassir's question before or not, but physiotherapist, 34 years of age, 10 years experience. Spouse is 36, IT engineer, 12 years of experience with IELTS 7. So yeah, seems to be a good case. Doesn't seem to be scoring 460 to 470 though. But we can see what are the options available in provincial nomination programs. And I'd ask you to complete our assessment form. We'll get back to you on that. Okay, and Omar is saying his age is 39 and met in Lahore last year summer. Yeah, I remember, Omar, you were in our last session as well. And I think we decided that we're going to be speaking over the phone. You're in US right now, so we are in the same time zone. Feel free to give us a call and we'll be able to speak to you, because we already met in Lahore. So no worries. Okay, Uruj is saying, I don't know if I see. Okay, yes. Uruj is saying her husband is 50, having engineering degree, currently having manager position. Can he apply for an immigration program? So we can look into the possibility of him qualifying as a senior manager under one of the entrepreneur program, depending on his intentions. If he's ready to establish a business in Canada, by a minimum investment starting from $200,000 in his own business, and it can go upward depending on the program he selects. But we also need to see what are other attributes, such as the level of senior management experience, so for it to be considered as senior management position. And secondly, the net worth. How much is your net worth, the value of all your assets? So usually these entrepreneur programs require you to have a net worth of a minimum of $400,000 to $500,000, depending on the program. And this is the minimum requirement. It can go upward to 1 million even. depending on the program you choose. So I would recommend that he completes our skilled worker form or business form. Out of these two, we can determine his eligibility and let you know whether he would stand a chance in any of the programs available. Someone joining us from YouTube, Shariar, is saying he's got 5 bands in general IELTS, and is there any possibility I have some technical experience? Let me request Khwaja Naman Saab to respond to this question, because I believe, given his expertise in the PNP area, we might have a chance, but I doubt. But let's see. Okay, I don't know. Every time I try to unmute you, Khwaja Saab, yeah,
All right.
yes,
You can hear me now.
yes.
Shariar, I think 5 bands in general IELTS seems to be a possibility in one of the province like Prince Edward Island, but still we need to see what kind of technical experience that you have, and obviously your education into this to whether you're qualifying in there or not. But do fill our assessment form, and we can able to assess or book a consultation so that we can explore the options for you specifically on this band. But seems like having 5 bands in overall seems to be a weak case. But just fill out our assessment form, we'll able to tell you that.
Okay, thank you very much for this response. Mani Malik is saying my CRS is below 400. So should I go for student SDS program or wait for the PNP? So basically, when you have less CRS and you're depending on the PNP, you don't go for PNP, you wait for it, right? In most of the cases, you must have done everything in your power to get selected. You created your express entry profile, you approached the provinces, now you wait. If the province selects you, you get 600 extra points, and voila, it's a good news for you. You get your immigration. But if it's not happening, and if 1 year passes, some provinces have the validity of 6 months period, where your profile is expired in 6 months. You have to update it. But express entry profile for sure expires in 12 months. You have to recreate the profile, and you don't know really if you're going to get selected or not. SDS, of course, is the student program, and it's up to you if you want to wait to see whether you get yourself selected as an immigrant. I think if you have plans to come to Canada as a student, you can do so now, because even if you come to Canada as a student, in the meantime, you get selected by a PNP. Under a PNP program, you get your immigration. While you were studying in Canada, you would be able to immigrate even at that time. In fact, you're going to save some money on your international fees, because you'll become a permanent resident, and you can tell your college or your university that I'm not going to pay you the international student fees because I became a permanent resident of Canada. So if you'd be interested in exploring the student options, feel free to get in touch with us. And even if you want to explore PNP options, you can book a consultation with us. There's a consultation link on our website. Otherwise, just send us an email or send us a WhatsApp message. We'll guide you through the process of booking one. Okay. Mani has a follow-up question as well. Is 5 year gap acceptable for student visa program? So gaps are not relevant, but yes, whenever there are gaps, the question arises, why have you now decided to upgrade your qualification? And it makes sense for a lot of people to work and then consider upgrading the education. It depends how do you put it. If you put it in a convincing manner that there is indeed a need, and the qualification that you wish to acquire from Canada is going to be helpful in your prospects, career prospects, then of course there are no problems, and it's not a automatic refusal. So as to say, if you have a gap, you can't apply. It's not that. You can apply, and it's still you can get. We have a lot of mature students who have worked in past, but they now wish to study in Canada. Shazia Durrani is asking, what are the chances of doctors getting a job? The chances are, of course, bright, but there are requirements for doctors to meet before they are allowed to practice medicine. And those requirements are always stringent. But there is nothing impossible for doctors, as I understand. They go through a rigorous training and they can conquer anything. So, otherwise, the prospects are very good and they are appreciated, especially because of the pandemic. Canada would appreciate nurses, doctors, and frontline people. Anyone who is associated with the health industry is welcomed and contribute to the Canadian society. In fact, if I may add, Canada is in fact introducing approval of all those refugees who apply for a particular program they introduce, refugee claimants who are working in frontline. So this is how they not only appreciate the refugee claimants who are contributing to the Canadian society, they chose this particular sector because Canada appreciates that they do need health professionals who are working tirelessly to save Canadians. Shazia has a follow-up question. She's a gynecologist, 10 years experience, age is 44. What are the prospects of getting a job as I'm ready to go for further exams? So we don't help in job. You are not going to get a job in Canada. It's a regulated occupation. You need to first migrate to Canada and then go for licensing and then apply for jobs. So it's a long way to go. And being 44, the prospect of you qualifying are needed to be checked thoroughly because you're losing significant points in the age factor. So we'll see. Gisa Abasi, thank you for joining us, I believe, from Kitchener. Um, she's saying if someone already filled the interest form for parent sponsorship, are we also allowed to apply a visit or super visa until we get the response for sponsorship visa? Of course, you can. If you have filled the interest form, it's not an application itself. It is only an expression of interest. You will be selected and then invited to apply. In the meantime, if you want to apply for a visit visa or super visa for your parents, you can do so. In fact, even if you get selected and you are in the process of submitting the application, or even if you have submitted the application for permanent residence for your parents, you can still apply for a student visa, these visitor visa, or the super visa for your parents, because immigration process is going to take some time. It's going to take a while before it gets processed. If you want your parents to be in Canada sooner, then visitor or super visa is the answer. Okay. I would need Khwaja Noman's assistance here. Ahmad Bilal is asking, doing a great job. Thank you for the appreciation, Ahmad. Please share your opinion regarding planned 401,000 ITAs by RCC in 2021. Please comment specifically about the increase likely of PNP for Saskatchewan, PI, other PNP Canadian provinces. What NOC holder should be hopeful for Canadian immigration 2021 and beyond. Now, thanks for all the questions. These are very important questions. And by the way, 400,000 ITAs, these are not ITAs, these are 401,000 immigrants. So every family has an average of 3 people in it. So these are number of heads they are going to welcome. It can include kids, it can include spouses, right? And it also includes parents and other categories like refugees as well. So Canada is welcoming these many people, and most of them would be, in fact, applicants who have already submitted their application in the year 2020, right? So in terms of increased level, of course, provinces will have more say, and they'll have more quotas available. And in terms of NOC, you'll have to look at and research the occupation demand list of each province. Some of them do have, some of them select on their own without the need of having an NOC. We can look at their past record as to which NOCs they are targeting. For example, Alberta, they don't have an occupation list, but they do have a trend of selecting specific NOCs. Our team, when we take up the case, we do all the research on your behalf, and we'll be happy to do so for you as well, Bilal. Okay. Let's see if we can take few questions. There are, I think, 50 more, but we'll try to attend as many as we can in the limited time we have. Okay. Which provinces are you're facilitating for immigration? So we are authorized by the Government of Canada to represent applications. We can represent your applications in most of the provinces, right? So we can help you in most of the provinces and all of the federal immigration programs. Okay. Aisha is saying she's going to contact us. Very welcome. We'll be looking forward to it. Shaheen Talpur is asking, age is 34, bachelor's in accounting, experience 5 years in PSO. Can I apply for student visa gap studies due to job? As I advised earlier, the chances of you getting a student visa really depends on how genuine the intentions are for studying in Canada. Does it make sense in the eyes of the officer that you are planning to apply for a student visa, and would you be able to uh, re- revert or return to your home country after your studies are completed? Haley is saying microbiologist, medical technologist from Philippines, age 52 years, 26 years of experience, no relative in Canada, but interested with Atlantic Pilot Program. So I understand you've done your own research, and perhaps you already know that you might not qualify under the mainstream federal program because of your age factor. You're losing significant points, although you have commendable work experience in your field. Atlantic Pilot Program depends on availability of a job offer, and we don't arrange jobs. So you might want to get in touch with the prospective employers, and if you happen to find one, we will be able to help you with the Atlantic program. But for the time being, if your target is to find if we can help you for a job, we might not be able to help you, but we can certainly assist you once you have a job offer in your pocket. Rahim Malwani is asking, I'm a data analyst with the age 29 and married, completed my graduation. Please confirm my eligibility. So, Rahim, we need further information. You can complete our assessment form. We can let you know. Usually, 3 to 4 years graduation is acceptable. If it is a 2 years graduation, you might not qualify, but we'll see what are the exact details in the form of our CV, and you can also attach your your CV with it. Noreen is saying age is 44, insurance underwriter. Do I qualify? Again, age is could be one of the concerns, and we can see if we could fit you in one of the available program. Chances are very low though, because you are losing a lot of points in the age factor. Okay, so there are some more inquiries coming in. Wakasha is a very experienced client, very well informed, saying that he has completed his IELTS, ECA, proof of funds. What are the chances to migrate through AIPP or NNIP? And work experience 7+ years, education is BS, IELTS is 7. Okay, so I can clearly see that you are interested in finding more options because you know that you don't qualify with 5.5 in reading, and you're exploring if someone can guide you in one of the programs. And in fact, you've done your research in AIPP or RNIP. Unfortunately, we don't deal in both of these programs because both of these programs require you to have a job offer, and we don't arrange jobs, unfortunately. So otherwise, if you happen to improve your reading component, we might be able to assist you, or we might be able to explore some of the other provincial programs where this 5.5 won't matter. Let's have Khwaja Numan's input on that, and perhaps we can help you when we arrange a consultation with you, this kind of one-on-one, and review all the documents. Yeah.
Yeah, I seems to be a client who has already done this research. I stick to what you said, Amisab. It's if he revised the IELTS, perhaps then we can be able to assist him specifically in the reading score because it's obviously below CLB 7. So we need to have ask him to revise IELTS to go for any other PNP options. But still, considering these scores, I believe there is one of the province we can obviously discuss when we able to know what work experience in which field he holds, so we can able to assess him in that province where low scores are acceptable, and then obviously we can guide him accordingly while in our consultation for sure.
Okay, so this is a comprehensive answer, and let's see another question. Rahim Dubani is saying, do you facilitate LMIA application? So yes, we are authorized by the Government of Canada to represent LMIA applications on behalf of a Canadian employer. If you have a Canadian employer who is interested in offering you the job, please ask them to get in touch with us by email or phone, and we'll be happy to assist them in applying for LMIA, right? But if your question is related to us arranging the job for you, that's not going to happen. So LMIA, yes, it's an application that the employer submits, a Canadian employer submits on the behalf of the employee they wish to hire, and in that application they convince the labor market department that they want to hire you, and the reason why they want to hire you is they did their best to find a suitable candidate in Canada, but they failed to do so, though they should be allowed to hire you. So we'll be happy to assist them. Feel free to get in touch with us. Rajput Slurry is saying he has secured ETA as a British national, has 6 years experience. So could you please let me know work permit process? So you have an electronic travel authorization to visit Canada as a visitor. As a British national, you don't need a visa to come to Canada, but you do need an ETA, which is issued automatically online in few minutes. So you have that, and you can now travel to Canada. But when you come here, you're not allowed to work. The process of work permit is very simple. You need to first find an interested employer interested in offering you the job. That employer then submits an application for labor market impact assessment. If that application gets a positive consent, then you apply for work permit. Okay, so let us know if you have a job offer from an interested employer. We can work together with you and that employer and apply for your work permit. Zoshia is saying, I already submitted my form. Yes, we indicated that. YouTube is on fire right now. We have lots of viewers from YouTube too. Muhammad Ali is saying, can I study 2 years in PG diploma and after that in 3 years of work permit? How much chances of getting PR? So when you graduate from a Canadian institute and you get your postgraduate work permit, you are now allowed to work in Canada. But to that end, you need to secure a job and gain at least 1 year of work experience. When you have that 1 year of work experience, depending on the level of work experience, because it needs to be an NOC O, A, and B. If you do secure that 1 year experience, then you are eligible to apply for immigration under Canada Experience Class, right? So needless to say, the first step is, of course, to come to Canada, secure admission, apply for student visa, come here, study, get 1 year experience, apply for immigration, and then become a permanent resident of Canada. Long way, but time passes, time flies, right? Hopefully, hope to see you in Canada soon. Okay, so Fatma is saying she has a master's and sisters lives there. So we did answer that. We'll see, because having a sibling in Canada is useful. You can get 15 extra ranking points. So some points that you might be losing in the age factor because you perhaps indicated you are 44 years of age. So that could be compensated, but we still have to look at the real chances and to set the expectation right. It's all about setting the expectation. If your expectations are wrong, then at the end of the day, if you don't get selected, you are really disappointed. And usually the main role is played by the local unlicensed agents in the market who would lure the client saying, I'm going to get it done. Don't worry. Pay me some money. And then after a year's time, they say, well, you're not paying me the balance, right? You just paid me the initial amount and that's mine now. So, you have to be very careful. Okay. Hafiz is saying, I've done bachelor's in computer science. I want to apply for master's. Please guide me. So Hafiz, we have an assessment form for students on our website. You can complete that. You can indicate your percentage or CGPA. You can indicate the courses that you wish to take admissions in, or preferred college or university, or preferred geographical region, your affordability in terms of even admission fee or tuition fee. All these questions could be answered so as to allow our team to pinpoint the correct right fitting courses for you, and then we can secure an admission for you on your behalf, right? And also apply for a study permit application, because we are authorized to do that too as well. Okay, Abdul Rashid is saying, can the business administration degree go with the technical sales NOC? Very, very good question. I love these kind of questions. The question is perhaps about the mismatch in the education and the actual experience, which is always a challenge to overcome, but we have been able to overcome that challenge for the past several years. And you need to be able to demonstrate that despite the fact that you don't have the matching degree that matches with your work experience, you are still in a position to perform in that particular occupation without even having that qualification required to work in that field. Some occupation, although, are regulated, and you do require mandatorily a related degree. For example, a doctor would require an MBBS, right? But an MBBS degree holder can work as a salesperson all the time, right? Can even work as a banker, and even work as a police officer. We have some friends who are in police or in any other administrative jobs. They are doctors, basically. They sometimes practice medicine, or they didn't even practice medicine. They got their degree and then they got into another line of business. So the mismatch always happens. It's true in Canada as well. When you come to Canada, you go into other walks of life other than your education and work experience. I think 60% of people do that. So they do get in touch with us. We'll be very happy to guide you, and it will be a pleasure. Okay, let's see. We have another question from same Sarfraz Khan. For Saskatchewan PNP, I've heard a friend living there can be used as a reference for extra point, not a family member, just a friend. Kindly let me know, is this true? Okay, so you need to really research the website instead of hearing from people, because someone said, a small bird said this and that. It actually doesn't work in immigration. Perfect guidelines are available on the website of this particular province. Go through it and see whether they are accommodating those points. If you're gonna believe everything that you hear, then you end up getting disappointed. So I think you can look into it and see if it does help. If it does help, then you'll get those extra points, right? Sayyid Imran Ahmad saying he has done an MBA in marketing, 5 years experience in banking, customer services, worked in telecommunications, customer service. He's got 3 kids. Couple of years back, he's done IELTS as well, score overall 6 bands. Please advise, should process my application. So I'm sure that the IELTS you're referring to is already expired, because it was a couple of years back. So you have to repeat IELTS, and you have to endeavor to get more or improve the score, because it would, everything in your case seems to be okay, save for the fact that you haven't told us about your age. But we can determine your eligibility once you complete the form. Fantasy Dreams from YouTube is a chemist doing job in pharmaceutical company as quality control executive, approximately 8 years experience, age is 31, want immigration to Canada, family immigration, parents. So basically, parents, you can't include them in your immigration application. They can be sponsored later on. But in terms of qualification and everything, let me request Khwaja Numan Saab to comment on the eligibility.
Yes, seems to be a very good case. Having age within the limit. Obviously, I can't say within the limit, but obviously, having 31 years of age is considered to be a good age for immigration, and having an experience of 8 years seems to be, for me, it's a good case. But we need to see the other parts here as well, specifically the language requirement for him, and the other part would be the education, of course. So let's see, fill out our assessment form on our website, www.amirismail.com. So we'll able to assess you in detail about it, and definitely we'll be consulting you for sure.
Ali Ahmad is 28 years of age, 7 bands in IELTS, bachelor's in IT, having experience of 5 years in management. So which route shall we choose? So we'll first of all, as a first step, we'll ask you to provide us further details by way of our assessment form so that our team can see your eligibility. Overall, 7 bands would mean that perhaps somewhere you have a better score or somewhere you have less than 7 as well. So overall, it comes down to IELTS 7. Canadian immigration, they look at the individual scores in order to determine the eligibility or assigning points. A bachelor's in IT, I'm assuming that it is a 4 years bachelor's degree and 5 years management. It's a good case. Most likely the PNP route, but we'll see if you can improve your IELTS or if anything could be done. If you have relatives anywhere in Canada, there are so many other factors that are taken into account, and your own qualification and your own work experience, language skills would also matter. You've told us about your spouse's details. So when you complete the form, your details would also be put in that form, and we'll make a comprehensive assessment and arrange a consultation. Ruj is saying, what advantage we can get if my brother and my husband brother are Canadian citizen? So yes, you get 15 extra points for having your brother, and depending on which region they are located in, you might get advantage in one of the provincial programs as well of that particular province. But yes, having a sibling is always good, and always have good terms with your siblings, and they can help you. Uh, okay, let's see. Farooq Nizam, right? Is it normal for a province like Nova Scotia to close their PNP altogether for people living outside? Is it due to COVID-19? Is it beginning for the end of PNP program, as we saw strengthen or closure of PNP program altogether since 2019? Please. Okay, so so basically the reality is actually um, different. It's altogether opposite what you think. In 2020, Canadian provinces selected way more immigrants than any other year. In 2020, there were more immigrants chosen by the provinces, and it is usual for Nova Scotia or any other province to take a pause because they are working on already in-hand inventory. These provinces are smaller, they have lesser labor market needs, they have lesser quota available to them. So whenever that quota exhausts, they pause. Whenever they have load of work where they know that they already have sufficient people to process and have them landed in that province, they would take a pause. But if you look at any other province in Canada, Saskatchewan, uh, Manitoba, British Columbia, almost every day there are 500 to 1,000 people being selected by these provinces, and it is not the beginning for N. This is the beginning of a very bright beginning in 2021 for provinces. People who are in the express entry pool will take advantage of getting selected by PNP. So if you are not already in the pool, uh, jump right in right now. Okay. Okay. Ali Hassan Farid, what are the chances for lawyers to get jobs? There are no chances for lawyers to get a job unless they become qualified as a lawyer. So, to become qualified as a lawyer, I would suggest that you get in touch with the law society of the province you wish to settle in and see the route available for internationally trained lawyers as to what they need to do, what additional courses they need to do, licensing exams, and then the chances are good. Okay. Does only job offer without LMIA gives you extra points in your CRS? Okay. Does any only job offer without LMIA gives you? Okay. I didn't understand the question, but I think Khajan Aman can help me with the understanding of the question, please.
Perhaps Amir Sir, he perhaps wanted to know if someone only has a job offer without an approval from ESDC, like LMIA, so will that get the extra points? So my answer to this would no. Obviously, if you want to gain additional points in express entry pool, you need to get the job approved. That is LMIA process need to be done for that perspective. And obviously, if you're looking into the some PNP options, yes, so there are few PNP options which does not require LMIA process, need to have a job offer. So obviously, fill out our assessment form if you have one of the job offer with you. We will able to assist you and guide you further.
Okay. Thanks for the answer, Naman Saab. Muhammad Ibad is saying, what about technology people? So I believe his question is the prospects of getting selected. Uh, People in technology fields, IT, engineering, they're all considered. And yeah, in fact, some provinces have specialized pilot program for tech people. So it could be a good case. We'll need to know your details. Wakas is asking, wife is PhD in botany from Karachi University, have 3 years of experience, teaching experience, and he is an electronic engineer. He has 10 years of experience in telecom field. Age is 35, wife age is 33. What are the chances struggling in IELTS? Yeah, so we all struggle in IELTS because, of course, it is considered not only a language test but also, sort of a technical test as well, because you have to practice and get yourself in line with the tips and tricks, and improve yourself on that count. If you're struggling with IELTS, basically it affects your bottom line considerably. You get less ranking points. Then scoring PNP is the option, and in the meantime, while you're exploring PNP, you can improve your profile. Getting into the pool is the first step, and before we could ask you to do that, we would like to make an assessment of your eligibility and let you know, quite frankly, whether it would be worthwhile to proceed further and invest time and money in the project or not. Okay. So a few more questions before we wrap up. I don't know, Khwaja Saab, can you see some questions that are worth taking in? Otherwise, I have selected few of them.
Yeah, let's take Sunil Alvin. It's related to nursing, perhaps nursing profession.
Yeah. So
Uh,
let's uh, let's do this. Sunil Alvin, thank you for your question. He is 33, has a bachelor's in nursing profession, 10 years experience. IELTS is overall 6.5. So Khwaja Saab will be able to do the honors.
Yeah, Sunil seems to be a good case for PNP. Specifically, we have seen in the past, specifically in the province like Alberta, and we have dealt lots of cases for Alberta who has been selected and who's been working in the same profession like nursing. So I still need to have an assessment. We need your individualized scores of IELTS. Do fill out our assessment form as a first step, so that we'll able to assist you and will able to guide you and explore you the options for you specifically in Alberta and some other province if there is. So we'll be booking a consultation and guide you further in this prospects.
Perfect. Okay. So Omer is saying, what are the chances of Alberta PNP for students who is a graduate of 2 years from a business account from Humber College? Omer, if you're in Canada, please get in touch with our Canadian office, and we'll be happy to assist you with this. Yes, there's a lot of students who are already in Canada, and they want to explore. Okay. Nobi is saying 38 years, current resident in Saudi Arabia, salary is 6,500, head of operations, MBA from UK, traveled for 21 countries, including USA, Australia, and so on. Trying to complete assessment form, but didn't get response. So if you're trying to complete the assessment form, you have to complete it. If you have already completed it, you're going to get a response in 2 business days. If you don't see a response in 2 business days, please check your spam or junk folder. Sometimes the response goes there. So you will have a response. In terms of your salary and your visit to different countries, if you apply for immigration, it is not relevant. It does help in the sense that you are a well-established professional and you have good position in a recognized company where you are being recognized yourself by way of good compensation, and you are a well-traveled person. But in terms of assessment, it might not matter how many countries you have visited and how much you are being paid, but your work experience will definitely matter, and your work experience, language skills, and educational qualifications, especially your degree from UK, will be helpful.
However, it seems to be a good case for PNP.
And that's correct. Good case for PNP as well. Haley is saying she has a follow-up question. Do I have a chance of finding a job in Canada? We can't say that. It depends. If you are working in a profession which is in demand and there is a shortage of professionals in Canada in that particular sector, you might be able to get a job offer. Okay. Muhammad Ali saying thank you. You're welcome. Kashif is saying he checked different Canadian province website, but almost all want a job offer. How to get a job offer before PR? It's not true, Kashif. Not almost. Yeah, you might be saying almost all, but not every province want a job offer. Uh, a province that requires you to have a job offer, you might want to discard them, right? Because it is indeed difficult. And if you do have time at your hand, and if you're really in love with that province, you really want to establish yourself in that province, then you need to invest time in approaching employers and keep on trying. But if you think that it is not possible, you don't really have a lot of time, and the possibility of getting a job offer, which is true, that the possibility of getting a job offer is usually next to impossible, then maybe you can focus only on those provinces where you don't require a job offer, right? And you can get in touch with our team. We can assist you with those provinces that do not require a job offer. Okay. Kashif is saying, again, I think we have responded to Kashif. Adil Ahmed is asking, he is 33. He has lots of lawyers today. I think I'm responding to the fifth lawyer today. Bachelor of Law with 5 years experience, so 2 years back. BCom, which program is suitable for me? And you are suitable for a skilled worker program for sure, but you might qualify in provincial programs as well. Get in touch with our team. We'll be able to assist you. Complete our assessment form. It will be convenient. Sarfraz has a few more questions today. Happy to answer those. Someone has already profile submitted in EE and in PNP, also with any consultant. What services you can provide for such prospect client? Yeah, so we are approached by a lot of consultants, especially those who are not consultants. Actually, they are in local market. We call them agents. They usually have tied up with a consultant in Canada, and they pose themselves as consultants. And usually their advice is short of reality, or full of myths as well. What we do is, when we are approached by the clients of the agent, by the way, if you are a client of an agent, you might want to go back and see the arrangement between you and the agent, because if they ask you to sign an agreement with their company, then you don't really have a representative. The agreement should be between you and the ICCRC member. But that's only a tip. The actual question that you wanted to ask is what we can do. So we can review what your present situation is, what arrangements have been put in by that consultant of yours, and we see if there are any other options as well that we can offer in terms of PNP, and whether the options presented to you by the other consultant were true or not. Well, did they make sense or not? Because sometimes they just give you the wrong idea. So let's see if we could help you or not. Okay, Ali Ahmad as the follow-up answer that his degree is 4 years. Thank you for letting us know. Someone from YouTube, Cooking with Asmi, saying, what are the chances of Alberta PNP program for student who is a 2 years bachelor graduate from Humber College? So we did answer that question before. Get in touch with our team in Toronto, and we'll be able to assist you. Kashif is asking, I think, the same question: how to get a job offer before permanent resident, as this is mentioned in all province website. We really don't know, because when I immigrated to Canada myself, I didn't have a job, right? And I tried, I couldn't get a job. Of course, I always had the intentions of becoming an immigration consultant here in Canada as well. But to be very true, me or any other person who immigrates to Canada, they, in most of the cases, don't have a job. And they don't have a job after several weeks or months of their arrival, even though they are authorized to work in Canada. So if you're asking, how is it possible? It is usually impossible. But yes, there are some provinces where your occupation could be in demand, and that province is struggling with the professionals, and the employer base in those provinces might offer you the job. My best bet would be, if you're interested in immigrating to Canada, to focus your energy and resources in those programs that doesn't require you to have a job offer. Okay. Let's have Haja Noman's input on this one. Shaheen is asking, she wanted to ask for her son, qualification Bachelor BSc, age 34, 5 years experience, top oil marketing company in Pakistan, want to apply for master's, career growth and future. What are the odds? Now, it really depends on if the BSc is 3 years or 4 years. If it is not, then I think we might not be able to help you, but Haja Noman might have something otherwise to say.
Yeah, seems to be a pure provincial nominee case, but uh, having a 5 years of experience, obviously, we need to see in which profession he's working in for the last 5 years, and obviously, then we'll able to assess him in the provincial option. So, yes, Shaheen, do fill our assessment form. We need to see the full details of yours, and then we'll be booking a consultation to tell you the exact odds in your application or what you can do best to make things happen for you in terms of immigration, for sure.
Okay. So this is a very good answer. Sayyida Amna Ali Hashmi saying, I'm working in teaching field, early childhood educator, master's education, 37, 6.5 IELTS, husband has 6, 90 field, 11 years experience in Malaysia. What are the chances? Again, we can tell you the exact chances once you provide us the details. It seems to be, again, a provincial nomination case. And Amna is also saying that her husband is 47 years of age and been to 3 countries. They have 3 daughters. Husband has 15 years of experience. Should we invest time? Yes, that's what our target is as well. We don't want you to invest time and money in something that's not gonna get you any result. Mohammed Ali saying, sir, please tell me your location of office in Toronto. So yeah, our location I can tell you. In fact, I can show you somewhere here, I guess. I don't know if I can share the screen. I can in fact share the screen, right? I can share the screen. So which screen Chrome tab I should go for? Here. Wonderful. Okay, I don't know if you can see that. We are on 100 King Street West. And this is 100 King Street West. And we are right here in Toronto in this building, First Canadian Place. We are on the 57th floor on First Canadian Place. And we are at the intersection of Bay Street and King Street. So if you are familiar with the downtown core, you would be able to see that we are in First Canadian Place. If we can show you our location right here, this is our building, First Canadian Place, 100 King Street West. So you enter from this entrance, come all the way to 5700, but do get appointment before visiting. We are not taking any visitors anymore. So you can find if we are taking any visitors at the moment. Okay, so this is the answer to your question. Let's see if we can take a few more before we conclude. We are already way past our schedule time, 1 hour and 34 minutes. This is going, the last session was also 2 hours, I guess. So we try to conclude it within 1 hour, but yeah. So yeah, so okay. Okay, some people are not very happy because the questions have not been answered. What program you suggest in my case? My age is 37, PhD in agriculture work, experience 1.5. Again, we would ask you to complete the assessment form for us to see whether you qualify or not. I think we are at the end of the questions right now. One more question, perhaps we can accommodate. Saqib Alim is saying, I'm 39 years of age with almost 14 years of experience in IT, cybersecurity, and my wife is MBBS with 4 years experience and age is 34. What are the chances for us? Let's have Kajan Aman's opinion on it, and then I'll put my 2 cents in it as well.
Yeah, being as an IT profession, you seems to be a good chances in the province, specifically like most likely in Saskatchewan. But still, we need to have the detailed evaluation. However, we still see that you have your wife also has an MBBS degree, which is considered to be a professional qualification as good as equivalence to masters. But having 4 years of experience, we can also be discussing once we have the details who should be a primary applicant to consider about your case, and then obviously we'll be guiding you. So do fill our assessment form as well. Seems to be a good case for the provincial one, specifically for you, Sakib. Uh, but do fill our assessment form. Will be guiding you for sure. Anything to add, Amritsar?
No, I think it is a good answer. But I'm just browsing through any more question. Okay,
Yeah.
so Adil Ahmed is saying, where can I find the assessment form? So let me show you how you can do that, Adil. You need to visit our website, www.amirismail.com. I'll show it to you right on the screen. Okay, so this is our website. You can see amirismail.com. On the top of the website, you'll see the link for the free assessment. You need to click that tab, free assessment, and it will give you the details. You need to scroll down and you'll see that there are different options for free assessment. We have skilled worker assessment, we have business immigration assessment, we have student assessment, visitor visa assessment, and family sponsorship assessment. If you happen to say be interested in skilled worker assessment, you need to click it, and then I need to, first of all, I believe, add the other screen to show you the free assessment tab as well, which is this page. So if you click the free assessment um, link for skilled workers, you'll see our assessment form on our website. There are a few questions that you need to answer about your professional background, education, age, your skills in language, relationship in Canada, settlement funds that you might be able to bring, and any further comments you might have, and then you submit, and we'll be able to then answer and revert with an opinion. Okay. I hope that answers the question. So I think we are now in a position to conclude. If you see any further questions that we might be able to respond to, Khwaja Saab, otherwise we'll bid goodbye to our viewers.
Seems like we have covered most of them. Yeah. So I think it's all
So
done from our
the
end.
only thing that the announcement we wanted to make was that we had introduced a discount in our fee in 2020 in recognition in celebration of our 29 years at that time, 29 years in immigration industry and 20 years in immigration industry for the Karachi office. And we introduced a 20% discount in our fee, but we will be extending it in 2021. So the consultation can be arranged against a reduced fees throughout 2021. So if you want to avail that opportunity, you get in touch with us. We are going to share with you the code that you would need to apply for that discount, and we'll be happy to assist you with this discount. Perhaps it will be helpful for a lot of people, and it's our token of appreciation for our clients. Uh, Thank you. Consultation or Amir Smile on Skype or US dollars. So we need to first of all see, Asma, whether you qualify or not. It doesn't matter if it is 200 Canadian or US. We would like to see whether we are going in the right direction. So our target is usually not the money. It's actually most importantly targeted on your outcome of your case. So let's see if you're qualifying. If you are, then we'll discuss in what currency you can pay. Not a problem. Okay. Saira, okay, I'm actually tempted to get more questions. I don't know why. Saira Farooq is saying, my husband education is currently in progress. He is doing ICMAP, qualified pharmacist from Pakistan. Husband has 4 years experience, she has 2 years experience. Do they have chances to apply, or should we wait till husband's education is completed? So he's doing ICMAP, but uh, she is a pharmacist, of course. She does meet the requirement of 1 year experience. She is over 2 years. That means this 2 years might be converted into 3 years during the process, even. So once you complete our assessment form, and when we make an assessment, we'll be able to give you the perfect strategy for you. It seems to stand a good chances even now, but maybe waiting a little bit could be helpful. Maybe applying right away could be helpful. So let's work together to determine. And Khwajasta might want to add something here.
I I would say, Saira, it's a good time now to consider because You have 2 years over experience, and considering you as a pharmacist, you need to go for assessment with a body like pharmacy PEBC exam, Pharmacy Examination Board of Canada. This will be requiring a little bit more time to get the evaluation done. So by the time that evaluation done, I think it's better to take this liberal approach to do things parallelly, and then we'll be able to achieve our goal, obviously, ultimately. So I would say it seems to be a good case. We should be proceeding it now. So let's go ahead and move on.
Okay, great. So it's a pleasure having all of you this week as well. We look forward to be with you guys again next week, same time, 11 a.m. EST, the Toronto time. Every Saturday, me and Khwaja Naman would be available to answer your queries. But having said that, throughout the week, you can also get in touch with our team by way of telephone or by way of email, info@amirismail.com. And our website, amirismail.com, has all the contact details as well. You can get in touch with us. I always happen to show the slide for the contact details, and you can have a look at it. We are located at 100 King Street West in Toronto. The local office is at suite number 706, 7th floor, Kashif Center. The phone numbers are given on the website as well as here on the screen. There is a direct
If we can remove the slide, the marquee that's going on, so people
yeah.
can see it.
Okay, I'll be able to do that. There is a cell number as well that is available with Khwaja Numan locally, 0300 The number that you see on your screen, 647-835-0660. It's a WhatsApp number, so we can be contacted. Otherwise, we can be reached by email as well. So I hope the session today was helpful in answering, and we apologize if we were not able to take questions or answer questions from few of you. We'll make sure that we answer them later, and we look forward to be with you guys next week. Until then, we say goodbye to you.
Bye.